Oh, wait, did I put the wrong video up there? Well, we'll get to that in a minute. Hello, you good people.
Hello.
Friends and lovers, and thank you for joining us. This is 5 Minutes with Robert and Amy Nasir. First episode in December 2025. We are knee-deep in it, which is a beautiful thing. Today is Sunday, December 7th, 2025, the 341st day of this, your best year yet. Hope it has been that so far, but with Christmas coming up, the rest is going to be easy. After today, there are 24 days remaining until New Year's Eve, until you decide how you're going to ring in 2026. Christmas is in 18 days. Halloween is in 328, because I knew somebody was going to ask. Thank you for joining us. And on this date, on December 7th, well, of course, it's Pearl Harbor Day. Pearl Harbor not only being what brought the United States into the war against Japan, but brought us into World War II. It's interesting that December 7th, 1941, Japan launches a surprise attack on the U.S. The next day, December 8th, the United States declares war on Japan. It was 3 days after that Germany and Italy declared war on the United States. Remember, they were the allies of the Japanese. And the U.S. responded by declaring war on them. It's interesting to me because there have been people, many people, including some in the objectivist community, the Ayn Rand fans out there, who have said we really shouldn't have even gotten into World War II. It was self-sacrificial. If we had just let the existing allies keep fighting, and we supported them, we were already, for example, giving me chills, but giving the Russians Lend-Lease uniforms. There were weapons. There were the U.S. ships already out there. I don't think we need to overthink that one, whether the U.S. should have entered World War II in Europe. Germany and Italy declared war on the United States.
True.
4 days after the Pearl Harbor attack. So I think the point is moot. I think folks often talk about World War I, and that one's more questionable, whether the United States should have been involved. Even then, when there's a conflict on that scale, I don't see any way around it. And officially neutral, but the U.S. supplied Britain, the Soviet Union, and China with war materials. Even at that point, it was only a matter of time before the Axis powers were going to declare war on us. Enough about war. It's just, if you're wondering why the flags are at half-mast out there, our current president has once again declared Pearl Harbor today to be Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day. Oh,
then that makes it really official.
Well, at least he did something official and normal, and I'll take it.
Considering that most of the doctors and physicians and everybody in America are disregarding JFK Jr., whatever his name is.
RFK Jr.
RFK, whatever his name is.
You don't even want to say his name, and neither do I, so we end up using the initials.
I see just a worm and a brain when I think of the guy. Anyway, this is going to be very interesting. It has already been one of the most interesting reactions to the executive branch or actually the federal government that we've ever had, because I think a lot of people are disregarding, questioning, not taking seriously anything that they're doing. It's pretty amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't mean to be distracting folks with this image. When I go to put a picture in the system, it just by default sticks it up on the screen. I did not mean to interrupt your important thoughts on RFK Jr. and DJT and all of those charming people who are running the country, but not really. That is related to what I want to talk about tonight, but Andrea's in the chat. And Andrea, some of you will know, probably few of you, but some of you will know that is a good friend from high school years. And she normally is in Michigan, but apparently she's down in Florida. So hello from FLA, Andrea. Hello to you. And this is what you're missing if you're seeing the video version of this. The dinosaurs are out in force. It's hard to tell at this angle, but the one on the left there actually has Santa Claus on his back and delivering presents. So that is the snow that you are missing here in Motown. And Jennifer's in the chat. I assume you have snow on the island as well. I know that first snowfall a week or so ago didn't hit you, but I'm I'm guessing you've caught up with the rest of us. For those of you who are in warmer places, we envy you, but not too much. It is beautiful here in Motown.
Oh, Ian says, I got asked the other day what it's like to shovel snow. I told them it was miserable. Not necessarily. It really depends on the framing of your mind when you go into it. And
well, the framing of your mind, absolutely. You can reframe anything, but also the context. If you are, for example, hard-pressed to have time for it, or just have better things you'd like to be doing with your time, if you're in a relaxed mode and you get up in the morning and you
want to be cozy?
Well, no,
I
was going to say the opposite. If you're looking for a way to get a bit of a workout in,
I see.
And you just want to enjoy the beauty out there.
The only time I enjoy shoveling snow is when I hate the cold so much that I want to go out. I bundle up, and within about 10 minutes after shoveling snow, I'm warmed up and I can unzip,
right.
And it makes me feel like I've conquered the elements.
Yeah, right.
It's nice, actually.
Oh, Ian says, from back when I lived in Canada. I did not know that Ian was originally from Soviet Kanukistan, so there we go.
Yeah, I mean, I should say that we're Canadian. We're the 11th province of Canada here in Michigan, so we're related.
So Michigan's part of Canada? No, because you told me before you thought Canada was part of Michigan, like Michigan's hat. And I guess it depends. It just depends. But Jennifer loves snow, and I know why Jennifer loves snow, because Jennifer loves snow, but also Mina loves snow, the Wonder Dog. So
yes.
There we go, and we'll be seeing Mina very, very soon. It is the birthday of Gian, Lorenzo, Bernini. If you're a sculpture fan, Bernini is well known to you. If you're not, follow the link that I put in the show notes and look at some of those works. The Ecstasy of St. Teresa. That sculpture sounds more interesting than it is. The ecstasy is when the angel visits St. Teresa and pierces her abdomen with knowledge of God. Metaphor much, but anyway, the Bernini's sculpture of the Ecstasy of St. Teresa is in fact beautiful. The Fountain of Four Rivers. Look at some of the Berninis if you're not already familiar. So happy birthday, well, of course, 400 years too late, but happy birthday to the late Gian Lorenzo Bernini. It's also National Letter Writing Day. Now, Amy and I told the story before. We were letter writers before we got together. In fact, that's part of how we got together, and I love it. I love writing letters. When we went to Greenfield Village recently, we went to the post office. Why is there a post office in a historical museum? And it's a functioning post office. They have their own zip code. Yes.
Well, we purchased this particular one here. You know what? The one that I sent here didn't actually come yet. Not yet.
Yeah. USPS, when the Greenfield Village post office hands off to the rest of the United States postal system, things happen. And I'm sure it's still out there working its way back to you.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's going to happen.
You can't read it, but this is what it says.
And since it's very romantic, you probably shouldn't read it.
It says,
oh, you're going to read it.
Amy, glad you are here. This will be a Christmas to remember. All my love, or heart, Robert.
So when your partner wants you to send her a postcard, and you already, of course, live with your partner, you don't write, wish you were here. You write, glad you are here.
Yes.
So there you go. Happy National Letter Writing Day. And I love the idea of writing letters, too, because I've said before, an exercise for me, something that I did. One of those woo things out there, that helps you grow. Some of you will think this is very woo, and it is. But imagine for a second if, as you say your words, as you choose which word to say next, consciously, willfully, intentionally, rationally, one might say, imagine for a second that they came out of your mouth in readable form, like some, video, some animation that somebody did, like, kind of like watching Weird Al Yankovic's parody, Word Crimes.
Oh, Word
Such
Crimes.
a great video. And those words were out there, and you could see them, and you could say, oh, yeah, I'm glad I said that, or, oh, that isn't really what I wish I had said. I love that idea of writing people, of having permanency to the things that you say, of having substance and having them last. If you could see what you say, what would you think? I found that a useful exercise, and maybe you will too. Next up, Robert and Amy take on the news. What do we think of the news this week? The big news that won't go, well, the big news that won't go away is, of course, the Epstein case. But the big news this week that won't go away, that has evolved over the last couple of weeks, has been the administration's, I always say the administration because I hate saying the president's name because I hate thinking about the president, which is part of our topic for the day.
The executive branch.
The administration's, well, it's not really the branch. No, the administration's assaults on Venezuelan boats. Now, presumably they are narco-terrorists, a phrase that has been foisted upon us by the administration.
Wait, what's funny is that it sounds like they're saying anarcho-terrorists.
That's what I always, what are anarcho-terrorists?
Narco-terrorists.
Narco-terrorists.
When they narc on you, and they terrorize you by calling you out.
Will they serve you an horchata? Nobody will get that reference. There is a local punk rock band called Norcos y Horchata.
Yes. Anyway,
what do we think of the assaults on?
Well, that's what due process does not look like.
Now, does a due process apply outside of American waters?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Oh.
Yes.
But it's a war. I mean, granted, it's only a metaphorical war. It's not actually a war, but it's a war.
Nancy Reagan's rolling in her grave when she first came out with the whole war on drugs.
It was her fault.
Dare to not do drugs and all this stuff.
It wasn't really her fault, though. It was Johnson's fault because he started it with the war on poverty.
Right. Well,
they didn't kill anybody. Well, you could argue economically they did, but they didn't kill anybody in the war on poverty. And did Nancy Reagan kill anybody with the war on drugs? And again, I know by extension, government intervention undoubtedly caused people to die, but did she gun down suspected or even proven, and this is the issue, even proven drug dealers? Did she just go gun them down? I guess we did that with some like mafiosos, some liquor runners in the Prohibition. But even then, it wasn't because they were running liquor. It's because it was organized crime. They were killing people and doing terrible things, like evading taxes. Well, that's what Al Capone finally got put in jail for. But
when I think of due process, I think of the actual words that make up that phrase.
I think some people think, that means just trying to be nice and fair to people. And no, that's not what due process means.
You need to you need to have a process in place. You need to think before you act.
Well, and there are certain things you need to do, and that's what's going on here, is that there's no things they need to do. If somebody was a drug dealer in the United States and driving a semi full of drugs, and assume they're really bad drugs, there's, fentanyl, which is 1,000 times more deadly than heroin, and even a small overdose can do somebody in. They still don't just launch missiles at the semi-truck. They pull them over and, somebody could get hurt or killed if he resists arrest, but there's a process there. You don't just say, we are certain that this guy's a dope dealer, so take him out.
Right. You don't jump to the conclusion that these are narco-terrorists.
Or even whatever. If you do jump to the conclusion.
Yeah.
Even if you are certain.
Yes.
You still don't just take him out. You take him into custody. You put him in jail. Whether or not, there's an actual criminal case brought against him, if it's a foreign national and you have him instead, sent back to his country, in the hands, presumably, of that government who will deal with him as a criminal. So the long and short of it is, our take on the news in this regard is, you don't get to do this. And hopefully the administration will pay a big price for this.
Yes.
Both legally in the short term and in terms of the midterm elections, and God forbid in the 2028 elections that not just this individual, but this group is still in power.
Yeah. I mean, for those Americans who laugh and they say, "Oh, let ICE do their job," or let the Department of War do their job. I mean, is such a blank out, is such a statement of stupidity. And they haven't felt it on their own hides, and they don't know history, and they don't understand why our founding fathers actually came up with that idea, or the idea of commensurate punishment. That's something,
Well, somebody asked about that recently on one of the internets. If somebody violates your rights, can you kill him?
No. Depending on what is this violation of rights? That they step on your lawn?
Well,
no.
That's, yeah. No. You laugh, but, there are
so
and it's
horrible.
usually young people and people who haven't encountered a lot of life. And I've avoided bringing this up, but I have to bring it up because I want to see what the folks in the chat will say. Incidentally, the chat is active. I should be keeping up here. And yeah, Jennifer mentions walking on the ice. We did. We walked on. We were like Jesus. We walked on the Mina was like Jesus' dog.
Yes.
We walked on the Detroit River.
Yes.
I mean, it was a little tributary area of it on Gros Isle there. But yeah, we were on the river, walking around. It's amazing. How did we do that? I think it was a little later in the season. I think we were a little more trusting. But we're already seeing frozen water here in the Mitten State. Tom says, Jennifer, the ice was so thick they would drive a Zamboni on it and make a big oval as well as a few areas for hockey. Yeah, we used to ice skate. I wish I'd done it more often. And my parents lived on a lake here in Michigan. And yeah, that's just normal. That's what you do. Love it.
As one does.
Oh, yeah, Jennifer says they have outdoor ponds on the island there that kids play hockey on. Very, very cool.
Very cool, actually.
And Jason Adams of Objectivist Matters says didn't pay copyright. What is that in reference? Oh, maybe word crimes? I don't know. Oh, maybe he's making a joke about the title of the song, Word Crimes. Didn't pay copy. I think of that because I was going to mention that last night, I think we're done with On This Day. We're into the news, but last night, yeah, I got to rock out. That's
yes, you did.
That video clip that I teased you with earlier is one that Amy took of, no, not that image. Goodbye, Dino. Of, the gig last night. That was really cool. Now, in this particular case, I was on bass guitar, so you see me sort of in the back there next to the drummer in the rhythm section. But that was fun. And like I say, the video clip is one that Amy captured of the event, and I'll post more of that once I get it edited. I actually have the full concert on there.
Yes.
Man, you should do more of the things you like to do, and you should be distracted less by things you don't like. I think I've kind of given away the punchline to everything I want to talk about tonight, but we've got a interesting route, an interesting path by which to get there. Yeah, see, John's right. John Paquette here is correct. He says shoveling snow can be meditative. Yeah. A real exercise in persistence. The nice thing about it is that it's always pretty clear how much work you have to do. Yeah, how much more work, yeah.
I mean, yeah, if you have a large property, then yes, get a snowblower. But yeah, if you've got a driveway and I don't know, it's a borderline case with us.
Just a driveway and a sidewalk or two, like we do. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will get a snowblower one of these days because you do get the big snow in Michigan once or twice, or maybe more.
And it's not that often in Michigan that we get snow, especially in the Detroit area. Now, if you live on the west side of Michigan, yes, you will get tons of lake effect snow.
You get a lot more Lake Michigan snow than we get Detroit River snow.
It's not that much.
Yeah.
And they get more in Boston, by the way. I know John lives around that area, so I can imagine.
Yeah.
There's a lot of meditating opportunities for you.
And Ian in the chat says, I wish I was playing more live music. Need to work on making that happen. I absolutely agree with you. The gig I did last night was well, they were calling me the new bass player in the band, but I know that it was really more of a sub gig. The bass player of the band, and these are friends of ours we've followed for years, the lead singer and the rhythm guitar player were actually in our band, Ron Toole and the Capitalists, for years. But yeah, this band of the C.I.A., their bass player suffered extreme kidney failure a week ago. And you don't know with something like that, is it just turn out to be an infection or some digestive malady, or is he, got one foot in the grave? And no, he did turn around and he's doing better, which means my membership in the band is probably short-lived.
Well, we'll see.
So, Ian, I totally get that. And I had that feeling last night after playing out. I have got to start playing out more. And Amy, you need to start playing out again.
Yeah,
I know you've got other things to do. You're a dancer, but
time in the day.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, now my knee's all wonky. I might have to quit dancing for a while, but
well, it was just really started up this week, though, right?
Yeah, but I've got a feeling.
It could be like Craig's kidney. It could turn around and you'll be right back out there.
Sure.
Absolutely. So I mentioned the Robert and Amy Take on the News, and we have told you what you should think about. I mean, we have told you what we think about what's going on down near Venezuela in the waters. And I compare that to the Doomslayer Progress Roundup. I have recommended Doomslayer before.
Oh, yes.
And project of
the... how are we doing, Doomslayer?
Of the Human Progress.
Yes, Human Progress.
In Cato, in the Cato organization. And despite trade tensions driven by the United States, if you've been to the grocery store lately, you know what the economy's like. If you tried to buy a car, if you have tried to buy a house, I think I told some of y'all that my daughter bought her first home last month. She paid exactly the same price that I paid for my house 31 years ago. Oh, no, not 31 years ago, 26 years ago. And I would say she got about half the house that I did. And everybody knows this, the housing market. It is a seller's market. If you're selling homes right now, you're living large. If you're trying to buy a home right now, you're buying whatever you can afford. Well, despite trade tensions driven by the United States, I think they're kind of getting that nudge into the current
trade
administration. Forecasters now expect the global economy to grow 2.7% in 2025, beating some pessimistic forecasts. They go on with good news in energy, which is not surprising because Alex Epstein is having a real impact on that. And we are doing well in energy. Actually, we're doing so well, even China has grown its forest cover, from 10% of its land area to 25%. And that's interesting to me because, a country like China is not increasing its forest area because they're such good stewards of the environment, as if anybody should really regard that as a national goal. But no, just because they're more efficient and they don't have to cut down as much, they don't have to burn as much, they've got better ways and the forests are growing back. Take a look at I don't think I posted a link to it, but take a look at Doomslayer. If you are, I'm sure you are all already subscribed because I've told you to do that more than once. So the good news out there is enormous. And it's really hard for any good news to keep up with our current administration. But they do a fine job of it. And that's what I have to say. That's what we have to say about the news. Incidentally, the news article on the Venezuelan narco
capitalist terrorist.
The New York Times article that I linked to is an unlocked article. As long as you use that link, you can read it using my subscription. I know a lot of you still have a grudge. I still have a grudge against the New York Times. But if a subscriber like me sends you an unlocked link, you can read their story and updates to it. Excuse me. I have to warn you, if I didn't already, I'm having one of those allergy days. And so I may have to hit the cough button.
Or I can take over.
Or Amy just will totally take over.
I'll just start talking.
So, absolutely. What's been on my mind is, by the way, how am I going to connect these two? What's been on my mind is the Christmas season and how some folks, including me, I mean, this is a mistake a lot of us make, are probably more distracted by the news of the day than we could or should be. And it's having a little wee, and in some people's cases, an enormous effect on our enjoyment of life. Not just at Christmas time, but in general. And it's interesting because in that regard, Yaron Brook just did an episode called The Crisis of Meaning.
Which I have not listened to yet.
Oh, well.
I haven't been...
When you're ready to listen to it, there's a link right in the show notes.
I haven't been listening to Yaron in a couple of weeks now,
no,
actually.
You've been news avoidant.
I don't know. I've just become kind of comfortable with not looking at... I mean, I look at the news
What are you doing? Are you doing happier things?
Well...
What's wrong with you?
No, not so much. And more like work stuff.
Oh, you've just been too busy.
Just been too busy.
Okay. Well... That's okay, because I will let you know which episodes of the Yaron Brook Show are can't miss episodes.
Is that one of them?
And, yeah, well, if you're interested in that topic.
What is the topic?
The crisis of meaning. You hear this from Gen Z, and I guess now we're into Gen Alpha as well. What happened is Gen X and Gen Y, it just seems like they got skipped. I guess millennials, they call them instead. Encountered this crisis of meaning. They feel like life has no meaning. And I thought, damn, I went through that back in 1979. You know, when you hit that existentialist phase of your life, you realize that religion is a sham. There's no supernatural world out there telling you, oh, it's okay. Here's how you should be and here's what you should do. And that will give your life meaning. Mm. And you realize, wait a minute, no, it's just a bunch of guys. It might be some women, but no, it's mostly just a bunch of guys wearing funny clothes telling you the meaning of life. And it's usually something like, pursue every value except anything you actually value. And, you know, serve others.
Wait, who is saying
serve
this
the
again?
church.
Oh.
Serve the state.
I see.
You know, like Bob Dylan warned us, you're going to serve somebody.
Obey my dog.
You got to serve somebody. Obey my dog. Oh, that was Mugatu. You know? Yes, the philosopher Mugatu in the film Zoolander. And so, yeah, the crisis of meaning. And it's funny because the Gen Z and Gen Alpha, the youngest among us who are coming of age, joke about it. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah?
They've gotten so used to it from the generations a little bit older than them, their crisis of meaning, that they don't even regard it as a crisis. It's practically a joke. And maybe that's a good step on the way to taking it as seriously as they should, but not existentially. Existentialist angst, this idea that when nobody tells you what to do, your life has no meaning. Or that there has to be some meaning exterior to you, to your values, to your value hierarchy, to your life. Yaron does a good job talking about that. So that is worth listening to. I already wrote an essay on it, and it is linked in the show notes, in the YouTube description, and the Facebook description, for those of you who are watching or listening to this on Facebook Live. Facebook, where Jim Ashley says, I love the emblem behind you. Well, thank you, Amy. That is one of the anniversary presents that Amy presented me with on November 25th, our 25th anniversary.
I wonder what he has to say about Jen. I mean, so I met this really wonderful guy, this really, 20-year-old maybe, named Charlie, last night at the concert that we went, that Robert played bass in, and he came in wearing a jacket that was sort of reminiscent of the 80s. I mean, he looked like he was out of the 80s. And
there he is. There's Charlie on the right there.
Oh, there he is. Okay, yeah. So yeah, there's his jacket and everything. You can't see there, but he's got a Dead Kennedys and a black flag button. You know, those little pins, band buttons. And so he and I, of course, struck up a conversation, and we, you know, traded back and forth about what our favorite songs were and what it was like in the 80s. And he was totally interested. And so yeah, I see a lot of Gen Zers, maybe Gen Alpha, look, and I hope that I'm right about this. I hope that they're looking at millennials and thinking to themselves, gosh, maybe I should be more independent. Maybe I should be less, feeling entitled to things. Maybe I should be like, those latchkey kids in the 80s who, both their parents worked and they were kind of raised by wolves in a way. And, maybe I should go out and just
take responsibility for my own values.
Yeah. That would be nice. That's what I'm hoping for. And if they're looking to the culture of the 80s, I'm hoping that they're going to extract that out of that. So.
Oh my gosh. Ron Toole is in the chat?
Yes, he is.
Holy hell.
Yes.
Folks, I mentioned earlier our show last night, and prior to that, our group, Ron Toole and the Capitalists. Well, Ron Toole, John Head is in the chat, so that is very cool. And I'll say it again, it was a great night.
Yeah.
I had such a great time, and whether I get to play with the band again or their really excellent bass player returns from his kidney challenges, either way, that was a very good time. And that's really the point, is you've got to get out there and do more of what you want.
It was a lot of fun last night.
And you don't want to avoid the news like Amy's doing. No, I'm kidding. She's not avoiding the news. You don't want to avoid the news, but, Yaron talks about this, and he says it in a way that sounds a little tongue-in-cheek. He says, you don't have to pay attention to the news. Just listen to me, and I'll tell you what you need to know.
Right.
It reminds me of a similarly clever line Rush Limbaugh used to say, you don't need to think about the news. Listen to me, and I'll tell you what to think. And it was always tongue-in-cheek, although he always did it in that braggadocious, big, bold, outrageous way he did, that implied that he kind of also believed it. Either way, yeah, you got to take in some of the news. You've got to know what's going on. You can't afford to be blindsided by things that will affect you in your pocketbook or your career, but also things that will just affect you spiritually, to find out something really horrible has happened and you were oblivious. But at the same time, you've got to bear in mind what you can and should do something about, and what you can and should just know to stay informed, and what you should simply let go. There's a best-selling book this year from Mel Robbins. And it's funny because I always think, was she related to Tony Robbins? Because she says a lot of things like him. And her latest book is called The Let Them Theory.
Yes.
And I love the idea of it. I loved her 5-minute rule idea of you have 5 minutes after any thought to take action before you will probably just let it go. So within 5 minutes, do take action. Decide if you're going to act, then take some action. And it's funny because it's something Tony Robbins used to say. I think he said, never leave the site of a decision. If you make a decision, never leave the site of a decision without taking some action toward its fulfillment. Do something, anything, but do something. Well, Mel Robbins' latest is called The Let Them Theory. And what she's realized is that we get hung up in what, for example, DJT, RFK, or, pick your poison, Nancy Pelosi or Bernie Sanders, or this actor or actress or sports star or whoever has done. And if they've done something great, that's great, because it's inspiring, it's interesting, and it's encouraging. And it reminds you can do great things. But if they've done something horrible, well, here's what Mel Robbins' tagline for a book. It's time, and see what you think of this. It's time to build a life where you come first. Your dreams, your goals, your happiness. Hell, that sounds like a cross between Anthony Robbins and Ayn Rand. It's time to build a life where now some of you are telling me, I can hear you because we have a lot of Ayn Rand fans, a lot of serious objectivists in the audience. Well, I already believe that. I already do that. It's time to build a life where you come first. Your dreams, your goals, your happiness, I would say your career, your family, your entertainment, your passions, whatever it is that you love, that's got to come first. And second and third, and all of those other things, the 3% I talk about that you've got to pay attention to just to keep it from undercutting your life, yeah, that shouldn't even be in the top 10. So I love that she's come out with that book and that she's now making millions of dollars because it is a bestseller. Very cool. If I was going to criticize your own, actually, I'm not going to criticize your own. I'm going to criticize the people who comment on the Yaron Brooks show. Mm-hmm. No, I won't even do that. There's a funny thing that happens on the Yaron Brooks show, which is people will ask him to do reviews. Tell me what you thought of this movie. Tell me what you thought of this
death metal song.
Death metal song. Well, that's the crazy thing is he does song reviews. When he does reviews of movies, reviews of television shows, reviews of fiction, novels. Okay, it's interesting, and he has great insights. He's a smart guy, and he's good to listen to that way. But I think the most self-defeating thing you can do is ask Yaron Brooks what he thinks of a contemporary pop song.
Right.
Anything that is certainly in the heavy metal, death metal category, or anything just more recent than 1980.
Yes.
Because he does have the good sense to enjoy 1970s music. He is, for example, a Pink Floyd fan. I know somebody who doesn't like them at all. Somebody. But if you want to hear some of your favorite music criticized, and the great thing about Yaron is he will separate the lyrics and the music, because what happens is people come to him with songs by bands like Incubus, or you could do the same thing with Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
Have very inspiring and explicitly individualist lyrics, very heroic. And the people who love these songs don't realize that the music, which is minor key, heavily distorted, is not going to be universally appreciated by people who don't enjoy that genre. And it makes it difficult to enjoy the song in general, even if you can appreciate the lyrics. And it's interesting to me to listen to these poor folks who will pay, I forget what it is, $50 or $100, to have Yaron critique a song, just get torn down by, and I get it. I'm not criticizing Yaron. I understand his criticism.
I think that there's two motivations for that.
Yeah.
One is a person possibly wants to hear some philosophical insight that might validate why they like a particular lyric or approach to their songwriting, for instance. Or it could be, gosh, you know what? Maybe Yaron Brooks will hear this and will hear what I hear in it, and he will fall in love with this song just as much as I love it.
I think they're hoping for at least a little bit of that.
Yeah. And I love Yaron, but I don't think he's a good resource for that, particularly. I think you might agree with that.
If all you care about is the explicit lyrics, for example, you might appreciate it.
Yeah.
But if you want him to listen to the music, the style of music, Ian in the chat says, I've considered giving a King Crimson song to Yaron to comment on. It's from the 70s, so he might like it.
He might.
Ian, I'd be curious if you decide to do that, if there is any chance, a snowball's chance, that he will enjoy it. King Crimson, for people who love it, is amazing. King Crimson, for people who don't get it, is entirely inaccessible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I listen to King Crimson and why are you doing these things? Why are you playing these chords, these rhythms, these painful things? And I get it. Once you listen to it 5 times, 10 times, you really realize they're doing something amazing here, and they're taking you on a journey that nobody else can take you on.
Right.
And they're saying profound things, even the ones where they're kind of using nonsense lyrics, which they do. I get it. I do get it. But it's a chore.
Yes.
If you are not already familiar.
Yes.
It's just the way it is. That's how music works. If you think of a genre of music you don't like. If you are somebody who hates country music or rap music or death metal, or pick your poison, it's going to be different from everybody. And then imagine somebody coming along and telling you there's this really great rap song, And it's really ennobling. It's about somebody who, really went through hell, but got out of it himself. And you put it on, and it sounds like every other rap song you've ever heard, even though it's got these great lyrics. It's really hard to get around that and say, look, I appreciate the lyrics, and so that got me into the music. Probably not. It might. Anyway, I didn't mean to get that distracted with that, but
we could talk about that all night.
Anything to do with music I could talk about all night.
Yes. I'm
always surprised when people don't make they don't understand how other people perceive their music.
Right.
I like Jethro Tull's pop music, but I can't get through all four sides, which incidentally comprise one song of Thick as a Brick. And what I don't understand, for example, let me give an example close to home.
All right.
See, I'm letting myself get distracted in this topic.
Yes, you are.
But I'll make it real quick. There's a band called, yes, my favorite band ever. They did an album called Tales from Topographic Oceans. 4 sides, double album, 4 songs. Whoa, those must be long songs. Yes, they are.
Yes.
I would never, if somebody said, oh, you like this band? Give me something to listen to. I would never say, yeah, listen to Tales from Topographic Oceans. It's one of my favorites.
Yes. Listen, even if it was.
Listen to side 3. And you will listen to it and you will say, what are they doing? I'm not even sure this is music. Why are they doing these things?
Well, it reminds me of Emerson, Lake and Palmer, for those of you who don't know or may know Emerson, Lake and Palmer and what they've done.
Well, yeah. And when you say Emerson, Lake and Palmer, to those who are not fans of Emerson, Lake and Palmer, you may think, Lucky Man. You may think, the pop songs.
No.
Still You Turn Me On. What a charming little song.
It's not that.
And then you put on pictures from an exhibition and hear their interpretation of Mussorgsky. And you're like, why are they doing this? And if you listen to it enough times, you may love it.
Didn't they have an album called Brain Salad Surgery?
Oh, their most famous album.
Yes. I'm talking about that, from that kind of music.
But that one's got Carnival 9, Third Impression. Which most people don't even know that's the name of the song. If I told them, welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends, you would know what song I'm talking about. It's not the name of the song. Anyway, yes, Emerson, Lake and Palmer is great. But if you're an Emerson, Lake and Palmer fan, trying to get people past past the pop music is a real challenge.
So, asking a hero of yours, what do you think of this music? Trying to get some kind of visibility, understanding, justification for it. You can ask them, but don't expect that they will understand. And and it's okay. It's okay for you to love music, a particular whatever it may be, and you get to find out for yourself, and you can put it into your own words why you love it, and then you can tell yourself this is a valid value, and I'm going to hang on to it, and I love it. And
even if you can't fully explain it, you can say this is my copper pot.
Absolutely, this is my copper pot.
So I told you about Mel Robbins. I told you about her let people do what they're going to do, the let them theory. Let them be. Do what you've got to do about them, but let them be who they are.
Yeah, it's an extension of the Serenity Prayer.
Exactly. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Allow it to snow. I mean, what are you going to do anyway, right? What's your alternative? Listen to this philosophical line, and you tell me what you think of this. Just think. While you've been getting down and out about the liars and the dirty, dirty cheats of the world, you could have been getting down to this sick beat. That's brilliant. Okay, that's Taylor Swift. That's a song that somebody asked Yaron Brook to critique. I don't think he fully appreciated the philosophic brilliance of Taylor Swift's Shake It Off. I think he should give it, I think somebody should pay him another $50 or $100, whatever it is, to listen to that song again. I think we should all give Yaron Brook money to listen to that song and critique it over and over again until until it penetrates. I think that might be his, The Ancient by Yes, or Emerson Lake. It could be his King Crimson.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody asks, which is your favorite side of Tales from Topographic Oceans?
Oh, side 4. Ritual. Nous sommes du soleil.
I like the first 2
side
songs.
1. Side 1 is great.
I like 1, 2, and 3.
I'll tell you why I'm biased in favor of side 4 is because of the live version from the Yes Shows album, in which Chris Squire, the bass player, goes nuts during his bass solo.
Yes,
he starts
beautiful.
Singing along with what he's playing.
Yes, yeah.
It's
the band,
ecstatic. And it's not ecstatic in the Bernini sense. It's ecstatic in the proper sense.
It is wonderful.
And,
it's not the ecstasy of having an angel
pierce your gut with knowledge of
knife you.
God. Yeah. Yeah.
No. It's the good ecstatic.
Yeah. Yeah, music is extremely personal.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, when I listen to Tales from Topographic Oceans, I usually listen to sides 1 and 4, and only occasionally will I listen to sides 2 and 3. Unlike, Close to the Edge or Relayer or Fragile or the Yes album or The Ladder, which are all albums I listen to from start to finish.
Yes.
No skips. Yeah. Jim actually says something interesting that reminds me of something unrelated, but I have to mention it just because now it's come to my mind. He says King Crimson was terrific. They were excellent musicians, and their lyricist, Peter Sinfield, incidentally, they had a lyricist who was not part of the band.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't know this.
Kind of like, was it Max Webster, who had a lyricist, Pi Dubois, who also co-wrote Tom Sawyer with Neil Peart. Anyway, King Crimson was terrific, he says. They were excellent musicians, and their lyricist wrote lyrics very well, even though the subject matter of their songs, at least In the Court of the Crimson King, was pretty somber and dark. It's interesting, Jim, because I first heard the song In the Court of the Crimson King when I was very young, and it had an effect on me, a negative effect. And it was spooky. It was just downright spooky, and made me very sad every time I heard it ever since I was a little kid. So that might be part of my the reason why I never really got into King Crimson. Not my universe, not my sense of life. But thanks for bringing it up. You're right. They are terrific musicians. Yeah. And some of you will know the Yes connection, of course, when Bill Bruford, who was on the first 4 Yes albums, and helped them break through with the album Fragile and the song Roundabout, and then finally Close to the Edge, which many will say is the greatest Yes album ever produced, arguably the greatest progressive rock album ever produced. He left the band. At the height of their popularity, he left the band because he wasn't interested enough. He thought he had done as much as he could with them, and who did he join? Who did he leave Yes to join? King Crimson.
Yes. Robert Fripp.
Yes, Robert Fripp. Who was the most somber and serious. He would do he would do concerts sitting on a stool, occasionally with his back to the audience. And yet, now that he's an older guy, he's on YouTube doing these charming videos with his wife, Toya Wilcox.
Yes, that's right.
Look for Toya and Robert, is it? Yeah, Toya and Robert.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Every Sunday morning, they do these hilarious and usually musical, but they've got a couple different series going now.
Yeah, not only are they musicians, but they're bunny lovers. They have a bunny. They are parents to a bunny who bosses them around.
What more could you want?
It's the best, and they show off the bunny, and so sweet and cute, and they love it. They love this bunny. So, if they were objectivists, they would be a triple threat.
You'd swear they were. You never know with people. I just came across an article in which Sammy Hagar, it turns out to be an Ayn Rand admirer.
Oh, good for him.
Asked about his favorite book or what was on his nightstand. He would say just anything Ayn Rand.
Really?
Yeah. Apparently it's a big part of his self-assertion is his admiration for Ayn Rand and the character Howard Rourke. So you never know who's an objectivist out there.
So yeah, when somebody asks you, gosh, I think I was on this Facebook thing and they had this poll and everything, and they asked you what your background was or whatever. And I wrote in objectivist, and I may have been the only one, but you put yourself out there. You say that word. Say the word. The word of truth. The gospel of Ayn Rand.
Yes. Yeah, and this all ties together. If I mention Mel Robbins and the let people do what they're going to do, let them theory, or Taylor Swift, shake it off. Don't get down about the liars and the cheats of the world. You could have been doing good things, enjoying yourself. Consider this line, one of our favorite lines, one of the great lines. In fact, the climax of the first half of the book, The Fountainhead. But I don't think of you.
Yeah.
Haters gonna hate. And let them hate.
Yes.
Yeah. Or as the old song goes, let them talk.
Yeah.
And I know sometimes people can actually have an impact on your vows. They can make a difference. And yeah, sometimes you've got to be less Howard Rourke and more Cyrano de Bergerac. Sometimes you got to fight.
Right.
Sometimes you got to stand up for your good name or stand up for the people who matter to you. But when you don't have to, don't.
Yeah.
We get in such a stew about things. Instead, we should be playing party games. We should be enjoying conversation starters.
Yes, party games.
Yeah.
Like,
Amy, do you have any party games that you like to play? Maybe some that you've made up yourself.
I have made up party games myself. So one thing you may or may not know is that Robert and I have run objectivist groups for
centuries.
Since the ancient times. Since the times of, hey, you know what? I wonder how many objectivists there are out in the world. And you would say, I bet there's maybe 1,000.
Yeah, there could be at least hundreds.
It'd be like, Iran's taken over the world. There's 1,000. The ancient times.
The old days.
So yeah, there's one particular approach to Ayn Rand's writing, either fiction or nonfiction, that I've used, and it's been a lot of fun. So one of them is called Random Atlas. And so here is a book, Atlas Shrugged, with my favorite Atlas Shrugged cover, with a train on it, with a little red light coming through. And
as long as it's not the tunnel.
Well, there is a tunnel there, actually.
Yeah, that worries me.
That's kind of spooky. But Random Atlas, the object is to have people call out a particular number that correlates to a page of the book. And once they do, then the reader will read a section of that page. So I would like to invite you all on the chat to call out a number from 3 to 1,168.
All right. Somebody in the chat, give us a number.
Yeah, give us a number.
Right, while we're at it, Jason Adams says, how much would Yaron want to review a party board or card game? I can't imagine he would charge for that. I could ask him on the next monthly. If you are a monthly supporter, like we are, you can actually ask him questions, without those character limits you get on the super chats. And Tom says, you must have one hell of a record collection. There's a story there I will tell, but I won't tell it right now. The short answer is, not as much as I used to. And Ian says Fripp would stop shows if people took flash photos. Reminds me of Steve Howe. He's gotten ornery in that regard the older he gets. And I respect that. So what page did they pick?
So Alex was, that's equal to reality. He was first to respond in, let me just make sure also that, okay. Yeah, he was the first to respond.
And what
Came
did
up
he choose?
with 1,000.
Okay, an even number.
1,000. Nice round number.
So what happens on page one? Well, don't tell us what happens. You're going to read a section, and then the trick is to try to figure out, well, what's the context?
Yes, what is the context here? All right, I'm just going to start from the beginning. This isn't a full page. I'll just give you that clue. The doorbell was ringing like an alarm. and a long, demanding scream broken by the impatient stabs of someone's frantic finger. Leaping out of bed, Dagny noticed the cold, pale sunlight of late morning and a clock on a distant spire marking the hour of 10. She had worked in the office until 4 a.m. and had left word not to expect her until noon. The white-faced, ungroomed by panic that confronted her when she threw the door open was James Taggart.
Ew.
He's gone, he cried. Who? Hank Reardon, he's gone.
Oh, okay.
Quit. Vanished. Disappeared.
Yeah.
He stood still for a moment, or she stood still for a moment, holding the belt of the dressing gown she had been tying. Then, as the full knowledge reached her, her hands jerked, the belt tight, as if snapping her body in two at the waistline, while she burst out laughing. It was a sound of triumph. He stared at her in bewilderment. "What's the matter with you?" he gasped. "Haven't you understood?" "Come in, Jim," she said, turning contemptuously, walking into the living room. "Oh, yes, I've understood." Ta-da! What's the context here?
I think you read more than you needed to.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
But
that's the one risk of this game is you start reading and you sometimes want to keep going.
Yeah, so the context here, I think we all pretty much know who the players are, what's going on, if you've read the book at least once. But can you tell us what's special about this particular page? I'll just ask that. As you can see here. Yeah. So basically, she's worked until 4 a.m. It's 10 a.m. And it's funny because she looks out and she sees the distant spire marking the hour of 10. I think it may have been the same distant spire that Francisco took over. Or that calendar. Your days are numbered calendar.
Yeah, Evil to Reality says, one of my favorite parts, Hank shrugged.
Yes. And,
yes.
What's interesting about this is, if you remember, for all this time in the beginning of the book, James Taggart, he's like, oh, God, do we have to deal with Hank Reardon? That Henry Reardon, don't call him Hank, that's vulgar. And, but Orrin Boyle is my friend. He's going to come through with the iron ore. He just needs another month. He has unforeseen circumstances, blah, 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 blah. And, and then what all that led up to, and with Reardon Metal, and that led up to, gosh, and I'm just throwing this out there in my memory, that led up to oh my gosh, I'm forgetting. Tell me again what the order of events are. So she ends up crashing in the valley. She comes back, and was her appearance on Bertram Scudder's show after that? Yes, it was. It was after that.
And what's significant here is that this is setting you up for later that evening.
Yes.
When they're going to reassure the country everything's all right.
Yes, Mr. Thompson.
They're going to have a
tune in for
radio
Mr. Thompson,
show.
8 p.m. or whatever it is.
And because, you're going to have Dagny Taggart and was it Mr. Moen who's going to be the representative of capitalism? These scared little, caving in
Paul
guy.
Larkin, maybe?
And somebody else takes over the radio. Somebody else manages to inject his audio into what was intended to be the nationwide stream on both radio and television. And Hank shrugged. That's great. Ian says, I used to flip open Atlas Shrugged every once in a while and just start reading for a while. One of the extraordinary things about Ayn Rand's writing, and it's especially bizarre when you consider there are critics of it, that it really rewards repeated readings.
There's so many layers to unpeel in this book.
I can read The Fountainhead or Atlas Shrugged and invariably have thoughts that I did not have any of the prior 5 or 10
Just
times that I read it.
Integrations, things, a puzzle piece that comes into your mind. You're, I didn't even recognize, I didn't even understand what, now I get it. And then every time you do, I read the book like 20 times.
You want to hand me the book? I'll do, we got a bunch of numbers here and might not do them all, but let me read another one.
Oh, okay. I would like to, though, before you do,
Yes.
Was it, Dagny appeared on Bertrand Scudder's show,
Yes.
saying that she really enjoyed sleeping with Hank Reardon. Was that before or after he signed the gift certificate?
After.
Oh, it was after.
Yeah.
Okay, and then how soon after did Hank end up leaving? I forget.
Well, it's pretty soon because it's after the Valley.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
And because Dagny has a thought in her head, even though it doesn't stop her, that John would be hearing what she was saying.
Yes.
And that he might not believe that she had a right to say all the things she had said to him. The complexities of these conflicts and everything that is built up is amazing. I can only imagine what a chart, connection or flow chart of that would look like.
So we've got one more. Is that the next number?
I was going to do 777.
Yeah, that's good. Oh, before you do, the very important part of that one page 1000, that is the very start of the chapter. This is John Galt speaking.
Yes, that is actually the first page
of that chapter.
That chapter with the title right on top.
So Alex, good call. All right.
Interesting, because we were kind of just talking about this. She became suddenly conscious of her posture. She had let her shoulder blades slide down against the chair, carelessly, half lying, one leg stretched forward, and with her sternly tailored, transparent blouse, her wide peasant skirt hand-printed in violent colors, her thin stocking and high-heeled pump, she did not look like a railroad executive. The consciousness of it struck her in answer to his eyes that seemed to be seeing the unattainable. She looked like that which she was, his servant girl. She knew the moment when some faintest stress of the brilliance in his dark green eyes removed the veil of distance, replacing the vision of the past by the act of seeing her immediate person. She met his eyes with that insolent glance, which is a smile without movement of facial muscles. Oh.
All right. So Ian has a clue. He says, one of the sexy parts.
And it's interesting that throughout this entire section where this takes place, it's one of the sections, but there's no sex. There's no there's no sandbagging. There's no
there's no sandbags or tunnels. Oh, Ayn Rand, you saucy woman, you.
So Randy. Yes. Tom says, love girls in high heels, and YouTube says, this message is held for review. I guess I have to click the show button for you to see that. YouTube, you're so funny.
YouTube is like that poor lifeguard we encountered last couple weeks ago.
So yeah, I think.
So I think we all know who she's talking about, or who she's responding to in the scene.
Yeah, and it's hard to believe this is 223 pages before the one you just read.
Yeah.
Because, we mentioned how the Scudder program has her thinking, will John think that I didn't have a right to say to him the things I said to him?
Yeah.
All those sexy things that Ian is pointing out happened in this part of the book.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So where is she? She is with John Galt, and she is in his home, and she has a crutch because she hurt her ankle or something like that in the crash when she crashed her plane.
Yeah, we should have mentioned there will be spoilers in a game like this.
By the way, there's going to be spoilers.
If you haven't read Atlas Shrugged yet,
too bad.
Sorry about that.
So, of course, we're reading from the book. So, of course, there's spoilers.
Sandy's on the Facebook side and says, I'm due for another read. Hi, Sandy. Hope you are enjoying the winter, especially if you're up north. I hope the snow isn't too crazy.
Yeah. And so, okay. She is basically cooking him dinner and, or cooking breakfast and, basically earning her keep. Because wasn't it something like she had an account or something like that in the valley, but she didn't want to touch it?
Well, yeah, her airplane was damaged.
Yes.
And
that's right. So
they were going to fix her airplane up. And John says, and I'm intentionally using first names here because it's so spoilery. You'll stay here for a certain amount of time, and then you're going to go, and I'm going to tell you the way that it is, and we'll take money out of your money that's been set aside by this pirate guy to pay for your room and board, and she says, no, you're not. I will not take that money. I refuse. And he's like, well, how are you going to earn your keep here in the valley? And she's like, I will work as your servant, as your housekeeper, as your girl Friday. No, as well, you will have to pay for the repairs of your airplane. Yes. Yeah.
And, while she's in the valley, there's certain gentlemen who are just talking about, oh, God, the scene where she sees him flying above them, and she's calling out to him, and he can't be reached. He can't see her. Oh, so torturous. Oh, my God. So torturous. And she, I think at some point, reveals to Hank that she found somebody new. He's like, of course you did. Yeah, everything you said was in the past tense on the Bertram Scudder radio show.
Yeah, she tells him after the Scudder show, and he had already realized it. Oh, God. Because she's talking about Hank Reardon, and we slept together, and I'm going to tell you all the things that all these, bastards will try to tell you. I refuse to be scandalized.
Yes.
And, everything she says is in the past tense, and Reardon realizes that... oh, okay. Since I last saw you, you've met somebody.
I don't know if I've ever encountered... I mean, there's so many goddamn unique things that Ayn Rand put in her books. I don't even know if... I can't even imagine... Her imagination was so amazing, so profound. And... you could write a whole story with this climax of a woman going on a radio show, and they're expecting to basically blackmail her with this information about her being with this man, and of course at that time, in the 50s, it was scandalous. It was if a man slept with a woman, then he was a hero. If a woman slept with a man, well, she was a slut or whatever. And or she was low virtue, but Ayn Rand completely turns it on the face of it. It completely upsets the whole thing. And she is presenting a woman in Dagny who is proud of sleeping with a man. And it's just, it's so good.
Yeah. Came up recently online. I think James Valiant talked about it, that Ayn Rand, when she had the idea for writing The Strike, which was the original title, they decided that was too spoilery, and it wasn't a great title either. When she got that idea, which her husband actually planted the seed in her mind, and or she had the idea, and he said that would make a good book. Yes. Anyway, after writing The Fountainhead, she thought, well, this one will go quicker. It took her several years to write The Fountainhead, but this one was, because it was right, was what she wanted to say, and she knew she'd be able to say it, and she thought it would be pretty quick. And it took her 12 years.
Yeah.
So you can write a pretty complex book in 12 years, and she certainly did.
With the speech that she wrote in it, didn't it take her like 3 years?
Speech took her, I think, a year and a half.
Oh, a year and a half?
But a long time.
Long time.
A long time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And the other funny thing, and I'm glad you mentioned it, the sexual mores of the time, 1940s, 1950s, you had the first seeds of the sexual revolution that was coming, but it was, still pretty conservative times.
Yeah.
I hate to use that word in that context, but it's the first word that comes to mind. The funny thing is that even now, there are critics of Ayn Rand, and it's probably usually older people with that same sensibility, but critics of Ayn Rand will say, Dagny Taggart, the way she treated the men in that book, the way she slept around. Every time somebody criticizes Dagny Taggart for having so many lovers, I kind of drop my jaw. She had 3 lovers in her entire lifetime, or at least leading up to her 40s or 50s, whenever the book is wrapping up. 3. Now, I guess if you were, people should stay virgins until they're married Christian, you might think that's 2 more than there should have been, but
if you
3?
If you were a Mennonite or an Amish person.
3?
For God's sake. Anyway, that just reveals, sometimes people protest too much and reveal a little bit too much about themselves.
Yeah. There's something wrong with a girl if she ever slept with anybody but me. Oh. I can't imagine those people, like marriage is the only job in the world for which a qualification is to have no idea what you're doing, no experience whatsoever. What?
Tom says that Ben Shapiro said that about Dagny. I'm sure he did.
That's just...
Him and his, if you abandon God, you're going to go on a midlife crisis, get a fast car, and then, sleep with a whole bunch of women. And that's without morality, without Christian morality.
You say that like that's a bad thing. And you want to laugh, and I do laugh, but at the same time, that can't be an honest error.
Yeah.
There's got to, because Ben Shapiro, if you've listened to him, if you've read his stuff, he's not an idiot. He's got some substantial IQ to say that, yeah, she slept around because, 3 different men in her life.
Well, this kind of brings a question to my mind.
Oh, by the way,
what?
And each one of those 3 was a serious relationship.
Yes.
Exclusive, based on values. Yeah, sleeping around.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Based on heroic values, for God's sake.
She was extremely discerning.
But let me ask you this question. So when Hank and Dagny were together and being romancy, as they should have been, Hank had this real like overwhelming urge to know who she had previously slept with.
Right.
And she wouldn't tell him.
Right.
And but why would you say that why would he have such a obsession with that?
Because he was not okay with it. And Dagny even makes that point to him. She says, the reason you can't accept that I've been with another man is because you can't accept that you're with me now. You don't believe this is right, what we're doing. And now it wasn't just because he was married either. It was because of his attitude on sex.
Yes.
The idea that sex is a way to bring a woman down to a certain level. And Dagny was the one woman, the one business person out there that he had more respect for than anybody else. So it was a conflict that he needed to resolve.
Yes. Yes. And
eventually he does. And that other guy who, as soon as he finds out who the other guy was, he immediately slaps his face, ends up being his best friend.
Yes. 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 Yeah. What a lesson for Hank Reardon. Oh my gosh. I mean,
yeah, we're getting awfully spoilery here, but it's so good.
You know what we need to have? You know how they have reaction videos? We need to have a reaction video with people reacting to, I guess, an audiobook of Atlas Shrugged or something along those lines.
I wonder if there are reaction videos. They might be out there. We'll take a look.
Yeah, because I feel like this is a reaction video.
Yeah.
We're reacting. Yeah, interesting stuff, man. So it's a quarter after.
So
do we have anything else?
I've been looking in the chat, and I love the conversation here. I don't know if there's anything that you wanted to comment on before we kind of wind down here.
Well, I mean, let's see.
Tom has a few comments here. I wonder how long it's been since Yaron ate KFC, McDonald's, etc. Yaron, it's funny because he talks about he doesn't eat sugar. And then he'll mention, well, actually, I occasionally will. And so I don't think Yaron is hard and fast about any of these things.
Right.
That said, I wouldn't be surprised if it's been years since he's had fast food, because he has access to some of the best food in the world, and he has a discerning palate. I don't think I'm actually capable of eating the way that Yaron does. I wouldn't be able to do
what
just fine dining of that level.
Yeah.
Of, multiple star Michelin restaurants. So, yeah, I'm sure it's been a while, but given that I know that he does make because when he travels, for example.
Yeah.
We went to a bar with him the last time he was in Michigan this year.
Yeah.
And he'll eat bar food.
Yes.
So Yaron is not a snob about food.
No, he
just appreciates the good stuff when he can get it, and he gets it as often as he can.
Yes.
So it's a fun question, but I think the answer is going to be a little different than one might suppose. And Equal Reality points out that Francisco saved Hank. I love that.
Yes. Yes.
Wait a minute. Hank saved Francisco.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, that's a little backwards of... Anyway, I love that scene. Anyway, the whole scene, but especially the way Hank dismisses it not dismisses it, but answers him afterwards.
Yeah.
Francisco's still waiting to tell Hank this difficult lesson that he needs to hear. And then everything goes to hell at the mills, and Francisco's trying to put out the fires, and he slips, and he's about to fall, which would be almost certain death. And, Hank jumps over and catches him and saves his life. And then
Frank Adams saved Hank's life.
Yeah.
At the mills. when Philip and his cronies were trying to take over. Oh my gosh.
From the gunman.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah,
so you're right. Francisco
pew,
did save Hank.
Pew, pew, pew. Shoot guns in his hands, shooting them all down. So great. So good. I mean, it was so good. So, I mean, okay. So guys, ladies and gentlemen of our podcast audience,
yes.
If you want to hear Robert and I talk more about scenes in Atlas Shrugged, call out random page numbers to us, or the Fountainhead even, or even the Lexicon.
Yeah, if these conversations are fun for you, we can do this more.
Let us know. And of course, you can show your appreciation on PayPal or Patreon. We do have a Christmas fund going, and Yeah,
go to robertnasir.com, scroll down to the very bottom, you'll find links to our Patreon and PayPal for one-time payments.
Of course, click the like button on YouTube, please.
Yes, and if you have suggestions for future topics, you can post them in the chat or in the 5 Minutes with Robert and Amy Nasir Facebook group, or send us an email. That link is on my page as well. And this has been a fun discussion, but again, my theme for the week is whether you want to call it the let them theory, or you want to sing Shake It Off with Taylor Swift, or you just want to say, but I don't think about you. Yeah, definitely as we get knee-deep into December and the holidays and take advantage of all of the opportunities for goodwill and just fun and getting on stage with a bass guitar and playing rock and roll or whatever comes at you. Yeah, be selfish. Like Taylor Swift says, just think, while you've been getting down and out about the liars and the dirty, dirty cheats of the world, you could have been getting down to this sick beat. Well, I want you all to get down to those sick beats. I'm still not used to people using the word sick that way.
I know.
Like we used the word bad in the 80s, or, it's always been that way.
When I think of sick, I think of like green-faced sickness.
Yeah, I just
Like,
bacteria and viruses. No, got to get used to it. Got to get cool with the kids. Oh my God. But seriously, folks, thank you for joining us. I know you already appreciate the positive, the values in life, or you would not be here right now after 5 minutes or whatever it's actually been. So thank you. Thank you for joining us. I think we already said everything we needed to say. I don't really need to wrap up the show other than to say, yeah, thank you. Send money. So holidays is a good time. We should have done a Giving Tuesday show.
oh, yeah,
Like the
we
Ayn
should
Rand
have.
Institute did a good show for that. We should have done one as well.
Yes.
But no, all that is left is for us to say we wish you all the success that you so richly deserve, all the money, all the flourishing, all the romance and the sports and the art and the values, and do enough of that you won't even have time to notice anything else.
Yes.
Oh, one more thing to keep an eye out for.
What?
We wish you love.